Hello, beautiful people. My name is Kira, aka Words by Kira, and in this episode, I have my friend Marc Panzer on. Hey, Marc.
Hey.
In this episode, we're going to be talking about his experiences running races, specifically 5Ks and 4 milers to support different charities. I make videos based on self empowerment and also connecting with the community through interviews. So if you like content like that, you definitely want to see this episode, and please hit the bottom right subscribe button. What motivates you to run? It's not easy to run. So what keeps you going and doing all these races?
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me, first of all. And yeah, I mean, look, I'm going to be completely honest with you right off the set. Like, running is not like a passion of mine. I started very late, almost like 5, 6 years ago. I had never even run a 5K. So I think a lot of what, besides like fitness and just, wanting to do cardio is I kind of gravitated to the charity aspect of it. A lot of these races that I do, the 5Ks, are affiliated with helping diseases, helping specific people, and to me that's what kind of motivates me, in the sense of when I'm running 3 or 4 miles and I start whining internally of like, oh, I'm out of breath, or my leg hurts or something. It helps to know that, suck it up. You know what I mean? Like you're running here for Alzheimer's, for kids cancer, or what have you. So that kind of motivation, I think, with running, it's always about tricking your brain to being like, don't worry, we'll be on the couch soon. And so whatever you need, whether it's listening to music or just to get up sometimes, I think that's it for me, because it's just a very cool vibe when it's all for charity. And you sense that too. I mean, obviously it's a different world where now it's been virtual. So still the money goes to the funds, but you're on your own. But especially hopefully when we get back to normal and the events, you're with a bunch of like-minded people that are just there for one cause. And it really helps when you're kind of, running down the street for that. So.
Yes. Wow, that sounds amazing. I'm sure just like you said, when you're all running together, when it's safe, I imagine the energy is, what is it like in those moments? What does it feel like?
It's great. It's honestly, I always tell people, like, the best part, especially the races, are the right before it and right after it. The during running is just terrible. Joan Rivers she had a great joke about jogging and running. I'm paraphrasing, but she's basically like, the first time I see somebody smiling when they're running, then I'll start doing it. So like, I think, which I thought is a great, which it is. It's like, it's a great vibe. And I'll start, like, I joke about this too. Like, I'm good with 3 milers, 4 milers. Maybe I'll do a 10K someday, but like, I have no aspirations to do a marathon. God bless those people, but they're insane. But like the New York Marathon, if you've ever been there, I mean, that's the extreme version of the greatest vibe ever. Everyone lines up on First Avenue, and I always call it like a family type of St. Patty's Day, where everyone's still drunk, but it's more of like this positive vibe where you're just cheering on strangers from all over the world, literally. And there's nothing like it, So on a smaller scale, that's what these races are. You're all here for a cause, you're all together, and then it's not even about, obviously, you want to personally win, or you're competitive with yourself, you're trying to win or get a medal. But at the end of the day, it's just about, wow, we're all here for a cause. Our money and our caring goes to this, either it's a specific person or a specific cause. Even if it's about Alzheimer's or breast cancer or something, there's usually people with, names written on there. It's personal and it's broad, right? So there's something very cool about that when you're running for somebody, and especially when they're there. So it's hard to describe that vibe. And I think, obviously, the money is what we're there for, right? We're trying to raise funds and towards research, or sometimes tangible help for the person. But you know how it is, right? Even on a, God forbid, everyone's healthy, right? But you have this channel, or you have initiatives that you've always wanted to do. How great does it feel when, 1, 5, 10, 15 people show up just for you, for anything? Imagine that times whatever, when you see people like, wow, they came out usually on a cold Sunday morning. I mean, I know this is Sunday morning, but it's very warm. We're very comfortable. But, usually out, I'm about to run 4 miles here it might even be miserable, but there's something about it. Doesn't matter if it's raining or something. So there's nothing like it. And that's why I kind of search, like obviously logistics play a part, but I'm not going to drive 500 miles for a race, but man, like what a cool event and what a cool cause. And yeah. And then I try to like just promote that like on my, on my account, just to be like, hey, look, you don't have to go to New Jersey. You don't have to run even. I don't even, but A, you can walk this, or B, just learn about this person and maybe throw in $5 if you have a chance, So
Yeah.
I love it.
It's so important. Thank you. I think you did a great job explaining it, and it made me visualize just how apparent like your purpose is. Because I think sometimes, we could do something, oh, I just felt like doing that, and there's really no intention behind it. So
Yeah.
thank you for explaining that.
No problem.
And I know you told me that you've done about 20 races this year, which congratulations to you. That is amazing in my opinion.
Yeah.
So can you just explain for the people who don't know, like, how does the charity aspect work when you sign up for these races?
Sure. So yeah, so I just did, so it's funny. So I did I think it was my 24th yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, for suicide awareness. It's this great, this one was for National Alliance on Mental Illness. So I also try to be a little eclectic. So, well, to be honest, it's twofold, right? Just like, 2020 has changed everything, and races are no different. I alluded to it earlier, but there's something called a virtual run. Now, these have always existed because, a lot of times, like, you might love a cause or you have family in California, you're not going to fly there for this race. But what the virtual aspect lets you do is you still register, you pay the fee, and then you run it anywhere, at any time. And usually these, like, for normal events, they'll be like, hey, come here on Saturday, we're running at 8 a.m. But in this case, they usually go, here's a 2-week window, sign up, run it whenever, and then just upload your results. So I think that partially that's why I ran so many races this year, because there was no like stopgaps anymore to be like, oh, I can't make it to, down the shore. I can't drive there. Now it doesn't matter. I just run around my neighborhood. So ultimately what it is, I mean, some of the races are different, but hey, look, do your research, because some of them are like, you're paying, they're usually in the $25 to $30 range, but sometimes they'll let you know like, hey, 30% of the proceeds are going to A, B, or C. And then they'll have side donations. So at its core, it's just you pay the registration fee, and then hopefully those funds go towards the cause that you're running for. A lot of times I'll have side donation. Actually I've done ones with, for, I guess it was under Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and then one for Black Lives Matter. What they do is they'll be like, hey, and I like when they're transparent. They'll be like, look, the money is going to here. Some of it's going towards our, we got to send out shirts and medals and stuff, which is understandable. But then also they'll give you options to be like, and hey, here are 8 organizations we support. If you want to specify the one where you want this to go to, do that, so, which is kind of cool. So, but just be careful. I mean, I'm not even talking scams. I'm just like, some of them, like, you just want to read the fine print. And especially when it's huge causes like that, there's a million now, especially virtually, it's easy. So I try to do a little bit of research and be like, wow, that's cool. And I like the specifics of where that cause is going to. So that's it at its core. And then, look, you're allowed to donate and do that link. And then, and then just on a side, I have a charity miles team that is just something completely different. So those are the races. So a lot of times I feel guilty, not guilty per se, because it's not about me. If it was a charity, like, get a Maserati for Marc, then I'd feel guilty for people. Like, give me $30. But, that would be a weird 5K. But, like, I get it, right? Look, it's, some of these races are $35, and we're talking about motivation, but some people are like, well, I just love running 3 miles anyway. Why would I pay $35? I'll donate on my own, which makes sense, right? So what this is, I found this app a couple of years ago. It's called Charity Miles. It's completely free. It almost seems too good to be true. And all you do is you log your miles, and then sponsors pay 25 cents a mile to your charity you chose. And it's 10 cents a mile for biking, because I guess you could bike forever, a little bit more. So what's cool about it is they have like 60 charities to choose from. And essentially, like, so I ran my 5K yesterday and I walked a little bit. So I chose Alzheimer's Association, which is a big one for me. And it was 4 miles, and they donate $1 because I ran 4 miles. And like, you just have it on your phone and it's in the background. And it's like, to me, that's like, well, I'm walking Buddy, I'm walking my dog anyway. Why don't I just, even if I'm just walking, it's not even a workout app. So, and thankfully I have like 75 members now. And that's the beauty of it, because yeah, from a monetary standpoint, it's also like, I'd be like, oh, I just did 30 miles this week. And then you're like, well, that's only, $7.50. But what if, much like we talked about with the marathons and the events, right? Now it's not just running. It's like, it's a team effort. So if, 10 of us do 30 miles, now all of a sudden we're starting to get some cash. And so yeah, I've just tried to recruit people. My team's called And Then Some. And some teams, if you notice on the app, it's kind of like blowing up. Some teams will just be like Alzheimer's Association or March for Dimes, and everyone, puts their charity towards that and stuff. But I let people choose whatever charity they want. And it's very eclectic. Like it's whether most of the diseases, there's a lot of human rights causes. And like today I might have run for Alzheimer's Association. Tomorrow I'm going to do Wounded Warrior Project, and so on and so forth. So here's a way where I don't feel guilty. Like, hey, walk, doing your own time, 1 mile, 10 miles. I'm not asking you for any money. I'm not asking you for any pledges, but isn't it great where you could just like set it and forget it and realize, I don't care what you do. You could walk to the store and get booze and chocolate and then eat it on the way home. But now 25 cents from that just went to a cause that you're passionate about. So I just dug it. It's what I've always been looking for. And we've raised, we have over 42,000 miles as a team, which is getting in the $10,000 range. So yeah.
Thank you for sharing your charity miles, different process that you do, Marc. So anyone who's interested in joining up with Marc's team, you can follow him on Instagram, or you could download Charity Miles and search for Marc's team called And Then Some. And I love that it's just so organic too, like just like you said, just simply walking to the store, walking your dog or whatever, just living your life, and you are contributing to these different causes. That's really powerful.
Yeah, that's what I dig about it.
Yeah. Okay, Marc, how do you prepare for these races? How do you train and stay in shape?
Well, it's a good question. So it's funny because it's why I love 5Ks. It's 3.1 miles. And I finally got to a point, look, I'll be completely honest. Like I'm going to be 46 in December. And like, I didn't get serious about the gym until I was like 30. Probably when I started working at NBC, it was like, cause I was, they had a free gym. It was nice. We all need the motivation. Free is a big one. So I really, and then, like I said before, running is not a passion of mine. Like I've always been active, softball and skiing and cardio aspects of it. But it's kind of why I took up kickboxing a little bit, where I'm like, it's a skill to me. This is still cardio, but at least I'm learning something, and it's a little more cathartic to me than running. But I think it's just at its core, just staying active, doing something. Like I don't get antsy per se, but also like I feel I need to do at least one thing per day. Like even if it's just a long walk, But I'll tell you something. I got to the point which I love, where I can just get up and do a 5K, like without even, like there used to be, it's still like a decent distance to me. Like it's not like I can do it with my eyes closed. It's probably a bad idea anyway. But like I used to have to be like, oh, I'm gonna drink water, like 2 days, I'm gonna stretch and da. And now if you told me about a 5K today, at noon or something, I could probably just do it. So and that, but look, I mean, obviously that's born out of staying active. Like, again, we're in 2020, it's a different world. I haven't been to the gym since March, but I've sort of still maintained here at home. And that's just doing a lot of body exercises, sit-ups and jump rope and push-ups and what have you. So to me, as long as you're doing something, and that doesn't necessarily mean, and I would say this to anyone running, I mean, to each their own, but you don't have to run every day. You don't have to, but don't sit on the couch, eating ding dongs either. That's not gonna, so there's a happy medium there. But yeah, so to me, beyond like the day before a race, I'll try to be good. Although to be honest, I've gotten my personal records like drinking the night before like 2 times. So that's not You can edit that out. Don't officially promote that, unless you want a sponsorship from a beer. But otherwise, the first time I did it, it was at a charity. It was a fundraiser the night before, so I just had a few. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna run. It's gonna be terrible tomorrow, and then I got my best time ever. So who knows? But yeah. But usually it's just the night before, drinking a lot of water and just like stretching and just I'll usually do like a warm up run leading up into the week. But yeah, there's no tried and true way I prepare anymore beyond just drinking a lot of water. I eat light. I don't like running on it. I'll just like enough to just keep me alive, and then just do it. And then I never really know until I start running. I'm weird, especially as I've gotten older. Like there's something always bothering me. Part of running and staying active, just in general, whatever you do, is just overcoming that stuff, whether mentally or physical. It's like, look, I know my right hip is going to bother me. Work it out, you'll get through it, and we'll ice it when we get back. So the thing when you get older, though, it's always like, oh, my right hip, and then you start running, you're like, your left ankle starts hurting. You're like, where the hell did that come from? It's like, so same thing though. You just mentally, and that's whatever your thing is during your running. So a lot of times it's just mild preparation for me. And then it's just the mental and physical resiliency of getting through that race, whether you're running 3 miles or 10. Stuff's going to pop up. Yeah, it's just that's part of the game.
Yes. So how do you protect your body from injuries and just staying safe? Do you need like specific things?
So I should do more, but stretching is just key. It's probably the most key. Like I've had 2 serious injuries in the last 7 years. I dislocated my shoulder and tore my 2 labrums in there, and then I herniated a disc in my lower back, like to the point, where it was like on my sciatic nerve, which is by the worst pain I've ever been in. So, so born out of that, thank God I didn't have to have surgery for each, but I'm a big fan of physical therapy. Like for all you PTs and OTs out there, God bless you guys. So like, it's the best. And what they teach you, by default, is a lot of stretches and just preventative measures you can go through. So without physically doing them here, but there's various stretches I do where I know, especially for like my lower back, that have become mainstays, like every day, even when I'm not running. It just it feels good anyway. Yeah. And and that's what I would say for everyone. Like I've been told that post-run stretching is actually more important than the pre. But to me, like, especially since I run in the morning a lot, and like when I sleep, I like curl up in the fetal, but like for whatever reason, I don't know, I could have like a super large king bed and I always seem to like be in a corner like a cat when I wake up. So go figure. I gotta like paranormal activity and record myself and see what happens, because it's really weird. But that's neither here nor there. The point is stretching is key. So I would say do a full body stretch, even and don't forget, drink a lot of water, and then focus on like the parts that are going to nag you, because it really loosens up the body. Drink a lot of water. That combination, water is just like oil for your joints, so it's going to be a good combination. And then I also got like foam rollers and things like that, and like the evil ones, the ones with the spikes that look evil, but that's what you need. Okay. You want it to hurt a little bit, because like it really like breaks up the scar tissue, what have you. And again, the older people watching this will be like, oh yeah, and the young people were like, spikes, that's insane. But eventually you're gonna go from foam to spikes, people. I'm just,
it's inevitable.
It's inevitable. But yeah, there's nothing I'm saying is probably new news, but I don't care how young you are. Like, we're all gonna feel you're invincible when you're in your lower 20s, and maybe you don't have many aches and pains. But the more active you get, the more susceptible you are. There's external factors. You could be running and turn your ankle, stepping off the curb the wrong way. Stuff happens. The more stretched out you are, and the more prepared you are, the more you can prevent these things. So.
Thank you for that, Marc.
Yeah.
So for someone who is wanting to start doing races, they're a beginner or they're just thinking about it, do you have any like motivational words? I mean, you've been motivating them through this whole video, in my opinion, but do you have any like last tips for people to just get out there and do it?
Yeah. So again, you could do like me and just, find the motivation where it's like, and maybe start with like, God forbid someone, that's always a good motivator. Like, oh, this person is going through some times, and I'm going to work that 5Ks in 3 months. So there, there's also things called, I haven't done them yet, but they're called couch to 5Ks. I don't know if you heard the term,
Mm-mm.
but it's what it sounds like. It's like for people who are like, I don't run, and it kind of gives you this training schedule. It has nothing to do with me, but where it's like, taking you from like sitting on the couch watching TV to actually, building up to a 5K. But for my money, it's just kind of baby steps, like I said, the hardest part of getting into fitness or going to gyms is starting.
Yes.
We gotta, there's that mental, and it's different for everyone. There's that mental, obstacle or crossroads. Everyone hits it, where it's not about, oh, I have to go to the gym, to where you're like, damn, I didn't go to the gym. And I don't know when it happens or what happens, but you just got to keep going when it sucks. The more it sucks, the more you have to go, because eventually, like I said, you're gonna want, so what I would say is twofold. I would say if it's just running and you really want to get to like a 5K status, it's simple. Just start small. Just go out, and then walk around the block, and then run quarter mile, half mile, nothing. You know what I mean? You'd be surprised how fast your cardio. You're gonna be breathing like a maniac. Your first time you run any distance, and you're gonna feel terrible. You're just gonna feel terrible. Yeah. But there's like, it's the runner's high. It's not a myth. Like, there's endorphin. So eventually you got to get to the point where
For real?
it's for real. I swear to God, it's real. I mean, eventually, again, you're not gonna feel it during the run. I'm just telling you right now. There's gonna be no you for. Again, there are some people out there, and it's probably the marathon runners that do feel it, but they're out of their minds. But in a great way, in a lovable, wonderful way. But for the rest of us, you're gonna get to a point where you're gonna, the high during will come from the fact that, oh crap, I made it a mile, and I don't want to lay on the floor on the grass and go to sleep. You know what I mean? Like, it comes from it's like anything in your life, right? You start, you might fail at work or a project and stuff, and then eventually, or school, right? You don't get that math problem, whatever. And then eventually you get it. It's the same thing with running.
Yes.
Start half mile, a mile, 1.5. And then, what eventually happens, and then just try a 5K. There's zero shame in running a mile and a 5K and then walking the rest. You know what I mean? It might even trigger you, because you'd be like, then you'd be with other people and you'd be like, I'm not gonna let that son of a bitch who just ran by, I'm better than, I'm in better shape than that person. So then next time around, you're like,
They did it, I can do it.
there's the motivator. You just self-triggered yourself to be like, you know what? Screw this. Next month, I'm going to run 2 miles of this 5K. And eventually, I think that's what happens to the marathon people, or even the people who do like Ironmans. It's like, those people are like, this marathon wasn't enough for me. I want to jump out of a plane and then swim, like whatever the hell they do. They're insane. But you know what I mean. But again, for the people on our level, and that's kind of what I do on my account, where I'm just like, look, I'm not asking everyone here to run backwards up a mountain. You know what I mean? That's just not what this is about. This is just, I'm telling you, setting levels for yourself, and you're gonna love yourself the first time you finish a race. I don't care if it's a 2 mile, 3 mile, 4. Like, if you set out and you get there, it's gonna suck until it doesn't, and then it's gonna be great, and then you're gonna be like, wow, I did that in 30 minutes. Next time I want to do that in 28 minutes. I want to be, look, and eventually, next thing you know, you're a champion. So.
So encouraging, and we're all about self-improvement. We're all about hitting goals, whatever they may be. Thank you so much for speaking with me today. You got me wanting to go outside and start walking.
Let's go. I will meet you in the middle, and we will run around, social distancing. But yeah, let's see what we can do. Yeah.
This has been really great. Thank you so much for talking with me.
Kira, thanks for having me. I love your channel, and good luck with it all.
Thank you. Okay, everyone. Thank you guys for watching too. Bye.
Bye.